Up and until now, there was only one worry for Indian monsoon, that was El Nino. But seems like that the worry has been multiplied multiple folds, because it is not just one factor that is keeping our monsoon, the lifeline of the Indian economy, stuck, but multiple ones. Hello everyone, welcome to Vajram and Ravi's Flash News. My name is Shubhangi Singh, and in today's session we are going to talk about what are the factors that are keeping the rainfall away from you. So let us begin with understanding that what exactly is happening. So as of now, if you can see in this given diagram as well, when we are looking at the monsoon advance, it seems to be stuck. Now when we are looking at the progress of the Southwest Monsoon, which enables the monsoon rainfall across our country, the Southwest Monsoon did arrive in India on 4th June, and when it arrived, it was making rapid progress. However, after the early burst of rainfall and the basic monsoon advancement that is expected, this monsoon rainfall got stalled. Where it got stalled? Stalled across central, western and northern India. That means rainfall were expected in these areas by this time as well, but it hasn't happened. Furthermore, the rainfall deficit, this has already widened across the states. So if you are looking at Maharashtra, it is expecting 75% of deficit rainfall. Vidarbha region itself, it is expecting more than 50% of deficit and more. And when we are looking at this slowdown, you can clearly see that central, western and north, pretty much clear. So when we are looking at this slowdown, this is showing that this is not just El Nino. You cannot just put everything on El Nino. El Nino is there, but it is a combination of factors which have resulted in the deficit we are expecting and the rainfall that has stalled. So let us break this down. First, let us know the first three factors that have stalled the monsoon. So the first reason here is the Pacific weather system. So when we are looking at Indian Ocean, just by its side we have Pacific Ocean also. So when we are showing this Pacific, now when we are looking at this image, this is of Typhoon Jagmi. Now this is Philippines, this is the exact location. Now because of the Typhoon Jagmi, the whole atmospheric energy, this moved eastward. And because of this, monsoon got stalled. You will say, how is it possible, ma'am? Something in Pacific Ocean is affecting the Indian monsoon. You have to understand that when we are talking about Southwest Monsoon, how it is brought towards India. It is brought towards India through the low pressure system. Wind always moves from high pressure to low pressure. If no low pressure will be created, the movement of wind will not happen to that particular place. And when we are looking at a typhoon, it is a low pressure area. So because of Typhoon Jagmi here, the atmospheric energy was moved here instead of low pressure areas being created in Bay of Bengal. Now this was just one factor. A second factor that we also need to understand to see that why monsoon has stalled is presence of western disturbances. You might see certain spells of showers in northern and western India, but that is happening because of western disturbances. Western disturbances, they have moved unusually southward. If you can see, this is the region we are talking about. And because of these northwesterly winds, which are dry in nature, so if the movement of wind is like this and they are dry in nature, cloud formation is not happening. Cloud formation is not happening. If cloud formation will not happen, the rainfall activity will also be suppressed. Now we have lockdown on two reasons. Let us add another one here, which is what is happening in Bay of Bengal system. Now when we are looking at the Southwest Monsoon, it has two branches. One is the Arabian Sea branch, the other one is Bay of Bengal branch. The reason Bay of Bengal branch exists and it is driven is because of the low pressure systems created here. First of all, the low pressure systems were not created, no major depression was formed over the Bay of Bengal. which is why the moisture accumulation could not be proper. The winds were not stronger enough, moisture accumulation did not happen, and that is why winds remained straight instead of converging at all. So the regions which were expecting rainfall from the Bay of Bengal branch as well, they are also disappointed. So these are three factors that we have understood. Let us add a layer of another two big factors which are climatic cycles in itself. One of them is, yes, El Nino. We have discussed this in detail. If you haven't watched that video, go back, watch that video, how a Godzilla El Nino, a super El Nino is incoming. You will get a fair amount of clarity. It is present in the tab of Flash News. Now, when we are talking about climatic factors, the first factor that I want to discuss here before El Nino is Madden Julian Oscillation. Now, when we are talking about MJO, you have to first understand this, that this is a weather band. And this weather band is a giant moving weather band which carries rain and wind along with it. Now, when we look here, look at this given diagram. Now, this weather band moves along the equator. Can you see the presence of equator? This weather band will move around equator and it will take 30 to 60 days to take around. Okay. Now, this weather band has two halves associated to it. One half is the dry half, the other one is the wet half. The wet half is which is responsible for bringing dark clouds, rainfall, wind, and the dry half brings the clear sunny skies. So, in this very cycle, now let us look at this. So, can you see wherever is the presence of the wet half, it will lead to formation of clouds? Wherever is the dry half, it will result in clear sunny sky. And when it is passing just across India, because it will keep gradually moving eastward. Now, when India is located in the dry half, that is the time India cannot possibly see cloud formation and the suppressed rain activity will be seen. That means the dry half is the unfavorable phase. And this unfavorable phase is unfortunately is present in India in the early June. That is why we are seeing reduced convection and reduced cloud formation. Now, once this gradually will move out of this presence, what we will see? Once this gradually moves out, we might able to see when Madden Julian Oscillation passes over India, the wet half of it, it might induce rainfall, and when it totally passes over it, then the other climatic factors would be responsible. MJO would move out of the factorlets itself. Now, the final factor that has stalled our monsoon is El Nino, a particular climatic natural cycle which is known to weaken monsoon circulation. La Nina facilitates the monsoon circulation, brings colder winters. El Nino brings hotter summers and weakens monsoon activity. And because of all these five factors, what we are seeing, that moisture convergence is not happening, poor thunderstorm organization, and the monsoon progression has slowed absolutely down, which is going to be a great and a grave problem for regions across India. I had already given you a few examples where, for example, Goa, 66 rainfall deficit. These are the regions present in Western Ghat which receive the highest amount of rainfall. You can understand how this is big a number. Vidarbha 71%, Maharashtra 75%. Mumbai is expected to have only water reserves for next 30 days. Goa is expected to have only for 40 days. If rainfall does not come and the stalled progress is not ensured, then we are looking at a water crisis situation. And to worsen the situation, it is going to have more impact just than this, such as delayed Kharif sowing because that is dependent on the Indian monsoon, reduced soil moisture, that means the production will suffer, the productivity will be lower, higher irrigation demand, that means the burden on government sources, the hydrological sources on them, and this will lead to further pressure on groundwater, more depletion to it. And as a result, multiple crops such as paddy, soybean, cotton, pulses, which are important for the food security of our country, are at threat. So this is how your monsoon is stalled, and if it remains stalled, what all remains vulnerable. What are your thoughts on this? Let me know in the comment section. Now I will be discussing that what are the possibilities of the revival. All the factors that I have discussed, if 2 to 3 or the combination of them move to a positive direction. For example, we are talking about MJO entering a favorable phase. That means the wet half of it. Or there is stronger low-level jet streams facilitating rainfall. Or there is better low-pressure areas forming at Bay of Bengal. Any combination of factor might put the situation right. But as of now, the situation is grim and grave. Now leaving you here with a prelims practice question. Let me know the answer to this in the comment section. I hope you can see the question. A lot of you keep commenting you can't see the question. There is the question. I hope it is visible to you. Let me know the answer to this. I'll be waiting for your answers. Thank you so much.